I'm here, my entire personnel staff, all the coaches are here because this is an opportunity to really get to know 300 of the best players in the country. You just know when a guy is a Steeler and when he's not. Merril and I, they've been great to have around.
There's just something unique about that player perspective.
First and foremost, I'm here to learn. I want to understand what they do, what the processing is, but I also want to add where I can. I've been evaluating for almost 30 years, every position.
A lot of our philosophy is have full coverage. You hear that term thrown around, the standard. Until you actually sit here and you see it and you witness it, it's real, it's tangible.
Steelers Nation. There it is.
What's up, man? Terrell Austin, how you doing?
Nice to meet you, man. Welcome to Pittsburgh, sir.
A place that was very desirable for me. So many NFL greats, so many Hall of Famers that have put that shield on the side of their helmet. I wanted to be a part of that family as well.
The city of champions.
He's hit and he's set. Let's go. Touchdown, Steelers.
The standard is the standard.
Since 1987, Indianapolis has been the home of the NFL Combine. This year, for the first time in over 2 decades, there would be a new general manager calling the shots for the Steelers. Omar Khan's first Combine as GM started by fielding questions from the media.
It's really exciting. It's the opportunity to get to know the players when we're here, when you get them one-on-one and meet with them. It's a fun process.
For the last 10 months, the Steelers football operations has been preparing for the 2023 NFL Draft. The Scouting Combine is the one opportunity where the top prospects are in one place.
I'm here, my entire personnel staff, all the coaches are here. Why are they here? They're here because this is an opportunity to really get to know 300 of the best players in the country, try to help identify who's a Steeler and who's not.
What does it feel like to finally be at the podium at the Combine?
It's an honor, a privilege, and a dream come true, for sure. Childhood dream come true. I'm very fortunate to have such a great staff around me. Having the new ideas has been great. Seeing how other people have done things, explaining to those guys how we do things at our place, and having them kind of gel and combine both. But for the most part, things are very similar. I just think it's a great draft overall. There's some good players. Early on in the week, we focus on the interviews at night. We have formal and informal interviews. When the workouts begin on the field, obviously we'll be at the Dome watching the guys work, and then at night we'll continue the interviews. When you've been around this place for as long as I have, and you were here, Jim, you just know it's natural. You're able to meet guys and watch guys and evaluate guys, and you just know when a guy is a Steeler and when he's not. What's up, man? How are you?
How are you?
Good to see you.
Good to see you. Thanks for doing this.
No, thanks for having me.
17th overall.
Yeah.
Give me the Steelers' organizational attitude coming in here to Indy.
We have 2 second-round picks, third-round pick, not just the 17th pick. And fortunately, it's a good draft, and we feel like we're going to get good players at each one of those picks. Right now we have 7 picks. We'd like to get 7 starters out of it. Any player that's going to improve one of our rooms, we'll make sure to take a hard look at it.
How long have you been with the Steelers now? It's been...
Valentine's Day 2001 was my first day.
Wow.
Yeah, I love it though.
Pittsburgh's like one of the most underrated cities in the country.
It's awesome.
I know
it really is.
I know.
It really is. I've been very blessed in that I've had the opportunity to be around a Hall of Fame owner in Dan Rooney, future Hall of Fame owner in Art Rooney, Hall of Fame coach in Bill Cowher, future Hall of Fame coach in Mike Tomlin, future Hall of Fame general manager in Kevin Colbert, and then people like Bill Nunn, Joe Green, Dick LeBeau, the Russ Grimm. I've been very fortunate and blessed to be around all these people. These are all people that I've spent time talking to, picking their brain. It's been a great group of individuals. I've been very blessed.
Thank you, Sean.
With 22 years in the organization, Khan knows what it takes to be a Steeler. With that in mind, he recently added 2 Steelers alumni to the scouting department, former cornerback Ike Taylor and former running back Merril Hoge, who both joined the staff in October.
Thank you.
There's 2 things that I'm grateful I have the experience of. Step inside the white lines. Even as a player, when you stand on the outside, You know the difference between standing there and being in there, and being able to experience that. You can't replace that, and that gives you a good feel and understanding of the game. The college game is so much different. The field is different, and people don't even realize that, and people go, what do you mean it's different? Well, hash marks change it. Hash marks are wider in college, they're narrow in the NFL. The college game is played on the perimeter, the NFL game is played in the middle. And there's just a lot of differences. And so when a guy wins a Heisman Trophy, everybody expects him to be great in the NFL, and that's not the case. He was great in college. So how he transitioned to the National Football League is the real challenge for everybody. How do they play the game? You know, how do they truly play the game, and does it transition to the next level? And being able to evaluate that, things you can't teach and things that you can teach is the ultimate goal, what you're looking for.
For Hoge, nearly 30 years in television covering the sport since his retirement has given him invaluable insight.
My experience at ESPN, majority of my job was to watch tape all week, getting ready for shows. We didn't watch highlights, we don't watch television. To do our work, we watch actual tape, and that has kept me in tune with the game and how the game has evolved and the real evaluation of the game. So it's been a major plus to do that for over almost 3 decades.
Merril and I, they've been great to have around. One of the things for me that I always found was that when you have former players, you know, we've had Mark Bruner and Chidi Uwoma in our draft rooms, but whenever you have former players around, when you talk about certain things, when you talk about other players, they have a perspective, you know, we on the personnel side might not have. You know, they play the game and they see things a little differently.
There's just something unique about that player perspective, and it's something that, you know, I find very valuable, you know, not having that myself. They just know what it's like to be in that locker room, and they can kind of be that last puzzle piece to help you figure out like the team chemistry part of things.
They have really a lot of knowledge about the game of football, and more importantly, they both have such a love for this organization. You know, they want us to be great, they want us to be winners, and they want us to help identify great Steelers players, which is what they were.
First and foremost, I'm here to learn. I want to understand what they do, what the processing is, but I also want to add where I can. I've been evaluating for almost 30 years, every position, so I've watched nearly 150 guys at this point. I'll have about 200 done, maybe 250 by the time, you know, draft comes around. And I want to be able to share what my insight is on them and their ability to transition from where they're playing to where they're going to play. Well, I've never really, you know, devoted all the energies to a team. It's exciting. I like to do that because it actually makes it a little easier, quite honestly, because when you're doing it for a wide scope, it's much more difficult. You can't know each team's true intel and detail unless you experience it with them. So that's guesswork, where this is real specific, and I love it and passionate about it. I have an understanding of the standard. You know, I mean, Joe Green walked in the locker room one of my first days as a Steeler. I mean, Joe Green's a standard. Franco Harris, standard. I mean, I know those guys. I've learned from those guys. Just their mentality and how they go about preparing. Played for the Chief, Mr. Rooney, and been around Art and Dan. The standard that exists there is consistent. I understand the person that you need, along with the football player that you need that fits in with the organization.
Fitting in as a player is one piece of the puzzle. When Kahn was named general manager, he quickly made moves to bring in some new faces in the scouting department. One of those individuals, Director of Player Scouting Mark Sadowski, fits right in.
When I was brought on board, I guess the vision was to try and help out with several different facets of the personnel department and just enhance already with the structure that's been built here. You really don't know how special this place is till you get here. All those trophies out in the lobby speak volumes. You hear that term thrown around, the standard, and until you actually sit here and you see it and you witness it, it's real, it's tangible. Success always starts at the top. And in the case here, I honestly witnessed it, and I believe it starts at the top with the Rooney family. They're dedicated to winning, they're hands-on in a very good way. It's always about what can we do to get better, what do you need to get better. Coach Tomlin is one of the best I've been around in almost 30 years in this game. It's really, really amazing to see it firsthand and be able to work in this system.
Sadowski joined the Steelers last June after spending 17 years with his hometown team, the Chicago Bears.
So I attended St. Rita High School on the south side of Chicago. My main sport was football, and I had several scholarship offers, and I accepted one to play football at Tulane University. Well, I have to give credit to our head coach at the time at Tulane, Coach Buddy Tevens. It got to the point after my fifth, going on my sixth knee surgery, that he pulled me in his office and he was just like, you know, I'm not sure we're gonna let you play anymore. And he's like, I'm not taking football away from you. I want to give you another opportunity possibly. What he did offer is I got to keep my scholarship and be a part of his coaching staff. My passion was actually to be a coach, and I sent my resume to all 32 teams on a monthly basis. I wanted to be a quality control. I kind of wanted to be out of sight, out of mind, grinding tape, doing breakdowns, doing analytics. I got my engineering degree from Tulane, so I understand numbers, I understand physics, I understand football, and the best of it I felt was doing that stuff, you know, in the back cave. My opportunity came with the Saints. I was called and asked to be interviewed for a pro scouting job. So that's when I had my first interview, and that's how the door originally opened up with the Saints. I got there after between the 97 and 98 season. When I first started, I was a pro scout, so I had a chance to work with one of Aliquippa's finest, Coach Ditka. I did have some interaction with Omar at Tulane in his transitional phase, and he was at the Saints already. But that was our first opportunity to work together. And then, you know, Andy Weidel joined us a couple years after that. I transitioned from being a pro scout at the Saints to a college scout. And the transition to the Bears, I was hired as their Southeast scout after the 2005 season.
Sadowski made an immediate impact with the Bears, scouting players like four-time All-Pro return man Devin Hester and two-time All-Pro tight end Greg Olson. Sadowski brings decades of experience to the role.
It's near impossible to see every team, every player. We have to be really strategic in how we scout and how we see these snapshots. A lot of our philosophy is have full coverage.
For Sadowski, that's meant nearly 50 trips since he joined the Steelers last summer.
You know, there's a lot of prep and planning into doing something like that. You know, getting all your roster set, making sure before you get on a plane to have all the information you need, loading the games on your iPad, and being ready to handle anything that could happen with travel, because sometimes, as we all know, flights get delayed, flights get canceled, but obviously planning in case that something would happen, have a backup plan. Do you rent a car? Do you drive it? Once you get there, it's getting all set up, getting ready for the game. I personally like just setting up everything in the hotel room as soon as I get there to kind of put you in that work mode. And then getting all your notes together to go to the game, and who you're going to be targeting, and who, you know, from the stuff you just watched on the plane, of guys that, you know what, I needed to see more on this guy. I really liked what he did.
One such trip was the Big Ten Championship, where Sadowski was in attendance with another new face to the organization, scouting coordinator Casey Weidel.
You know, you're going in there, you're making sure you got your binoculars and your stopwatch. So there is a little bit of a process to the whole thing. It's not just kind of showing up and watching the game and then bolting. There's a lot of things that happen before the game, during the game, and after, and you have to be prepped for that. There's an instinct to this, there's a feel, and I think sometimes it'll just hit you. And there's some guys you got to do a little more work on. There's some guys you got to watch a little more tape on to get that feel and see if they fit, and to be able to speak with conviction in a draft meeting. All those little snapshots help. And we're going to walk away with guys that are going to be, you know, the guys we want, Steelers.
The opportunity to add more players that fit the Steelers mold happens every offseason, but not only during the NFL draft.
Steelers Nation, come on.
Welcome to the bird, sir.
When free agency kicked off last week, the Steelers made moves to improve their roster.
Man, Terrell Austin, how you doing?
Nice to meet you, man. These trophies are crazy. Let's get another one, huh?
Good to have you, man. You doing
Good
all right?
to be here.
Hey, there he is.
Oh, man, how you doing?
Doing good, doing good.
Oh, man, what a great day.
What's up, Steeler Nation? I just got Omar here, rocking the black and gold. Here we go.
You see Landon Roberts, glad to be a part of the family.
Cole, come here.
ready to suit up in this black and gold and win some championships. Let's get it.
It's Nate Herbert here. Happy to be here. Here we go.
Can't wait to rock the black and gold. Turbo towels, put them up, baby.
One of the most notable moves was acquiring cornerback Patrick Peterson.
Adam,
nice
to meet you.
Yes, sir.
We have 20 open right now.
Okay.
I know beat Matt Ward at.
Yeah,
You got 20?
Yeah, rock 20.
That's hot right now.
Yeah.
I get 20 right now.
Yeah, go
You
20. I go 20.
Go with it?
Yeah.
Done deal?
Done deal.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right, man.
I'll surprise him with it as well.
Hell yeah.
Because he won't know.
The two-time first-team All-Pro and 8-time Pro Bowler was more than excited to join the black and gold.
Welcome to Pittsburgh, sir.
What Coach Tomlin brings to the table, his attitude, his pedigree, the confidence he's able to instill in his team, and just having an opportunity to play for such a story, franchise that has the fan base that the Pittsburgh Steelers have. It was just a place that was very desirable for me to finish up my career because there's so many NFL greats, so many Hall of Famers that have put that shield on the side of their helmet. I wanted to be a part of that family as well. It's a lot of great talent around here. And when you have, Coach T that's going to continue to get the best out of players. So everything's there. Now it's just going to be upon us to go out there and execute the game plan. And I'm excited to be a part of it. And I just can't wait to see, what Coach T has got cooked up, to try to get us to that next level.
Right there, that's it. Good, good.
While free agency continues, members of the Steelers scouting and coaching staff can be seen all across the nation at various college pro days. With only 1 month until the NFL draft, the Bill Nunn Draft Room will see a lot of action as the staff works to finalize their draft board.